Man, today's episode, in fact, the episodes keep getting better and better.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not sure if I can hear myself properly. Sha.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. It means that.
Which one is it?
No. I think you're good. Let me just raise it.
Oh yeah, it's from there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Better. Thank you.
Yep. The episodes keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
And then, in fact, I don't even want to say, I'm just amazed and I'm honored to be sitting here with this guy. I'm sure that, by the time I start getting into some of the things that he has done, people are going to be like, who is this? Mr. Mehdi in one of the videos that I was watching said, man, this man is small. But listen, he's mighty. Once he gets into this producing thing, bro, literally I was going through like his I'll call his biography or autobiography on Spotify, and then looking at some of the things that this guy has done, I'm just amazed. First of all, this guy is, I wouldn't say someone coming out of music or outside music, but then someone that has a degree in physics and geophysics. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, geology and applied geophysics. Yeah.
Imagine, geology and applied, geophysics, and then gets into creating some of the biggest hit songs
Out there.
This guy has sat and been in studio and inspired people like Bracket, Mr. Mehdi, Yemi Alade, Vector, P-Sqaure, the big ones, and then you're just, and made some of those big hits, Chop My Money, Ile-ijo, Your Eyes by Mehdi. As I did look into your eyes, as in literally, and then Charlie as well. Man, we're happy to have you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be with
have
great minds like you guys, and
thank you so much.
Shout out to what you guys are putting together in this part of the world.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure is all ours.
Thank you so much for honoring our
yes.
How was the drive down here?
It was good. Should be my second or third time
in Waterloo. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How you feeling? We're talking about
yeah.
How you're getting into
like the most important thing is always getting to know new places, visit new places, meeting new people. So that's one thing that I enjoy, and I'm happy that it's happening as well. Yeah. I mean, seeing you guys and also hearing more about the story of this environment. It's because that's what we need as creatives, exposing our mind to different things at a particular time and season, because it also inspires us, working and collaborating with different people all over the world. It's beautiful so far. Yeah.
In fact, like, he's saying that he has just spent almost a year here, and then compare it to this. I'm like, see, bro, don't worry. With time, you're going to get to enjoy it. Of course, if you want to get the vibe of the state, everybody goes to Toronto and do every other thing there. But then out here, but for those that don't know you, we've read, we've seen, and then we've gone through some of the videos and some of the wonderful things that you've done. If you can just take a moment to just introduce yourself. I've done the introduction.
Yeah.
But then they always say it's better to hear from the horse's mouth.
Yes, true.
Just basically give us.
All right. So my name is P-Sqaure Phillips, aka Flip Ties. I'm a Nigerian, an Afro-beat creator, composer, and I'm also I'm putting up some things together in form of books and all of that. So you might call me an author sometime soon. And I'm a member of the Recording Academy, the Grammy, and I produce a lot of songs.
Very huge.
I produce a lot of songs for so many artists in Nigeria, in America, all over the world, and so that's who I am.
Yeah. Sound to be a member of the academy. Apparently, as like, bro, there are only very, very few people that actually get into that position,
Yeah, and that's to tell you how far Nigerian music or Afrobeat has gone. And it's part of the inclusion that we're talking about. We need to be part of the decision making of the voice.
Nice.
So that's why they are beginning to see.
We need to get into that.
See people like us. So that's why you see some of our artists, they of all Nigerian music, Afro-beat music is big, it's huge.
Yes.
So they have no option than to
Accommodate.
involve more
For sure.
of
1000%.
black,
1000%.
members,
1000%. But bro, geology and then geophysics, then getting to produce all of these hits. How did it all get started? I mean, like the music journey.
The music journey. Wow, that's a very beautiful question, and it started for me 2005 while I was getting into the university. I mean, shortly before that, 2004, shortly when the old jump. How many times when I write jump for you?
When we write jam, they begin. It was beginning to be a soft landing, but
So
there
So
was a time jam. Jam was
At the time, jam was a huge wall for people.
yeah.
100%.
But I think over the time now, they've started being. It's now more relaxed.
Yeah.
Now-
And I'm sure you guys will talk about that. That's not really shouldn't be the almighty factor that
100%.
will determine who.
Yeah.
Because some people are actually brilliant that they might not need to go there, but that's
Exactly.
another discussion for another time. So
Exactly.
for me, during the journey, during the time I was trying to get into the university, I started going from one studio to the other. My laptop in the bag. It wasn't my laptop; it's from my uncle. And I would just go to the studio. I was just trying to how are they doing this thing and all of that. Then my cousin happened to be someone who loved game a lot. Up to now, he still plays games.
I'm
And all
just curious. Sorry to cut in. Why were you going to studio? Did a friend, what was the first? what introduced you to music? Were you a huge music fan?
Yeah. So I've been a music guy. Like I love music. We've been miming in the social nights, so they call it back then.
Okay.
In the secondary school. So
Yeah.
I've always known that I would do music. So,
Okay.
but I didn't really quite have the resources, the background and all of that. So I just felt like no. Now a lot of kids now they want to game, they want to do streaming, they want to do podcasts, they want to do so many things. So then it was this music thing, studio thing that was reigning for us.
That was the in. Yeah.
So my cousin who he loves games so much and he bought a game. They used to be in the CD. Then I bumped into a software, music production software. And that was the beginning of my music production journey.
Which one was it? FL?
Not FL.
I'm not sure if you've done FL that time.
Okay.
No, FL came out that same. A little longer before then.
Okay.
Then it used to be FL 3.
FL3. Okay.
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
That was it. So, but this software is, I think, EJ. Thereabout then.
Oh, nice.
I taught myself how to produce. Nobody taught me how to
Are you
produce.
serious?
So I taught myself how to
How about
produce.
the instruments? Because I know you play piano. Like I've seen.
Yeah,
you
so
on
it's
the-
just I play the piano just to produce what I do, not as a church pianist.
yeah.
It's just they call it MIDI controller.
Yep.
So that was the beginning. Then going into the university, in Nigeria, if you don't go to school, your parents, now they love education and all of that. So and not just education, you must do medicine,
all those
you must
courses.
do engineering, you must
of course.
do and
Law.
so
Anything art, anything.
Yeah, you must be so
don't do that.
Unfortunately for me, when I entered university, they didn't admit anybody in engineering that year.
Are you serious?
I was supposed to be in civil engineering. So the next thing, I was geology
Close,
and applied geophysics. Okay, so that's where I ended up. And while I was doing that, because I was very brilliant, as in I'm in school, when I read, I quickly get it.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly the same thing that I interpreted in the music thing. So
Wonderful.
it was easy for me to combine music
And
and
school.
my school because I graduated on time, no delay, no problem. Yeah.
Awesome. So you got this music software. Brother, you got this music software. You taught yourself how to produce. And then all of a sudden, when did you feel like, okay, you know what, I should take this in
To the
serious.
next level.
And then I should, because it's something to actually, begin something as a hobby, and then you're just doing it on the side, and then to actually be like, you know what, I think I actually have a knack for this thing. Let me actually,
Monetize it.
monetize
Yeah.
it.
So
Is it too loud?
No,
I can
I'm
actually
okay.
just-
I'm okay. I actually just want to hear you guys
Okay.
naturally.
Yeah.
So you know, a friend of mine taught me something. They said, anything you do, always give room for progression. You know, I think there's a thing you guys talk about in project management or progressive elaboration, you know, always, you know, keep improving something.
Continuous improvement.
Continuous improvement and all of that. So, and that's the way I approach anything that I do. You know, there must be room for growth and development. So after I started producing music and all of that, and I thought about, okay, how can I enter into the Lagos market? Because I was not schooling in Lagos.
Yeah.
Then I started doing shows on campus. We bring in artists that are reigning from Lagos into University of
And then this was,
Ado-Ekiti.
okay, yeah, Ekiti, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you the one organizing these events?
Yeah, I was the one organizing it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot of work.
And resources,
Bruh.
yeah. I make, you know, don't forget I've started making money from
More
music.
Okay, at this time.
Producing songs from people, so there was inflow of cash, so
yeah.
it was easy. Then, so I started bringing in artists from Lagos,
Yeah.
and from there, I invited Danny Young.
Okay.
Danny Young, he recorded one of the, you know, when you're talking about people, it's just so fortunate that a lot of people forget things. You know, those are the people that changed the game for the kids, not even voice kids. You know, when you look at the era of everybody want to do Connie Love, anybody want, then that was it.
Yeah.
So because he was young, he started singing at 13.
Wow.
So we knew him back then. So when we invited him, man, we happened to produce one song.
Okay.
Right, we started the song right there in school, and that's one of the biggest song to date.
Are you
That's
serious?
OJTT one, 17, 18, 19, blah, blah,
Oh,
Wow.
Are you serious?
yeah. So and that
did you
was the
produce-
beginning. I produced that song.
Are you
If you go
serious?
to the video, now you see me in the beginning. So that was my beginning. That's the beginning of my journey
That was like the launch.
into moving into the mainstream music industry from as a student, as a final year student.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so that was, I scaled up into that. Then moving into Lagos, then everything changed. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, now you're done with school early. You have your degree in geology and geophysics, and I believe that the result was actually awesome. What was that conversation like with your parents? And then you're telling them, "Man, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be geophysicist and a geologist. Though I actually want to take these music things serious because I believe that most parents are going to be like, especially back then, or like now where it's relatively accepted."
All right. So a very, very valid question. But so there's some conversation that never just popped up because I was a good guy.
Yeah.
I was doing well. I was, even while I was 7, I was already going to the UK. I was already going to UK for Nigerian Entertainment
you were already
Award.
showing your workings.
So I was already going to. I already registered my company, Flip Ties Entertainment, which happened to be the company that actually executive produced the Young project.
Wow.
So I was already pretty much established myself,
Yeah.
Awesome.
and like I said, already traveling. So the conversation never popped up because guess what? How much were they paying people that are working back then?
Compared
It
to
should
what
be
you
like
were
50K per month.
Yeah.
So I was already making much more. So that conversation never popped up, And like I said, I was scaling up. This was before the P-Sqaure. This was before Yemi Alade, Davido, and all of these guys. So there was always that progression.
Yeah.
Even before Akon, even before progression will happen up the way to meeting Dr. Dre in his Los Angeles studio in LA.
Wow.
And up to now, there's more things.
Still going on.
So there was that conversation never popped up. You know, of course, when you at the point you want to say, okay, can I do this? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Like, or I want to do my MBA now in York University, but so many things are just to see how you can still in that hierarchy of creators. How can you have that edge and all of that? So. It's,
Not too long ago, I believe the last episode that we released was basically on entrepreneurship and then, the challenges before success. So many people have hobbies that are actually very, very lucrative, good ones. It's not just, I'm just doing it by the side. But then we still have that conversation of our parents. Some parents want their kids to go in a particular path. Sometimes those paths are not... They are not the right path for the kid, but they just believe go in this way. But then you're able to manage it to the point where even at the point of graduation, you were already seeing like everybody and people around you rather. Let me say people around you were already seeing the fusion.
Yeah.
So how would you advise someone who has a love for something that, you know, they're actually very, very intrigued in it, but still, they still have, number one, fear factor. Number two, parents are also there, and then they are telling, and then like, so they're trying to balance, because you did both at the same time. For some of them, they'll be like, you know what, let me finish this degree. And by the time you're done with that degree, sometimes
the energy, the
would have
vibe.
exactly.
Okay, sounds good. Very brilliant question anyway. So there are things they call basic fundamentals. That's through which every other thing grows. You know, basic fundamental, what am I saying? You know, when you talk about the knowledge of math, it's going to lead to so many things.
True.
Like your accounting, the knowledge of chemistry is going to lead to how you live, how you don't consume some harmful substances. The knowledge of nutrition will help you. So those are basic fundamentals. So education is not a scam. It's very important for you to be educated to a certain point.
Yes.
So once you have that basic fundamental knowledge, every other thing can flow.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of artists that they studied medicine. You know,
They
learned a lot of things from going to school.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
That we make them stand out. For example, let me give you an example now. When I finished school, 2009, I've never worked any corporate organization. I don't do any corporate emails. Anything, maybe my manager will write and all of that.
Yeah.
But while I was going to apply to come into this country, I needed to write some exams. You know, I needed to write IELTS. You know, I'm just being real now. I needed to, and I started going back to write formal, informal letter, which I actually know, but there are so many rules that guide that writing. So many things, all of that. But if I tell you now, that experience, you know, that I went through reading all those things all over again, it's helping me now in so many ways. And when I relate with people out here, when I want to write, when I want to do, it's improved a whole lot of things.
Awesome.
So that's what I'm saying, basic fundamentals. It doesn't mean that I'm a school teacher or I'm an English teacher, but I went through that. So if your parents actually want you to go to school to learn and all of that, why don't you go to school if they are providing the resources? Go. Then it's not a cast in stone. Some people they are very spiritual. They are crazy. When I say crazy, it's not in a very bad way. They know exactly what they knew. So many people that succeeded in some particular, they knew they were going to succeed. They didn't go to school. They were rebellious at a point.
Yeah.
If that's you,
That works.
you know, that you are one of those outliers, which there are not that many. Sure, you can drop out of school. You can go for what you want to go for. If you want to be a creator, you want to do this, why not? If you feel like school is going to be like an impediment, but if you know you're not that sure, it's not that clear. You know, you don't know where the path might lead to and all of that. Still go to school.
Yeah.
You know, just go to the school. When you're done, you can still now do so many other things. And as an entrepreneur, so many things will pop up. You know, so many things will pop up, and you're gonna learn. You're gonna understand. Okay, maybe this entrepreneurship is not even for me.
Not for you.
Let me just go to school, JJ, all of that.
Yeah,
And all of that. So, but people like us who were crazy, we're like, okay, no, we're gonna wait. I'll be writing the exam. I'll be in a car going to get equipment in Lagos, coming back. I remember at the point, arm robber got us on it. And they were going to shoot me. Wow. And that's another discussion for another day.
Are you serious?
You know, because I love to improve my studio, my music things. So
you were taking some risks.
I was taking some risks.
A lot of risk. That's not some risks.
Yeah. So, but thank God I wasn't shot. You know, it was a divine intervention and all of that.
Nah, we thank God for that. We thank God for that because we don't know if we're going to get all of this.
And absolutely, like, just to buttress on what you said, there's really nothing set in stone in terms of like one way to achieve something. Different people have, because of their personalities, there are different ways. You know, so if your personality doesn't suit a certain way, you just need to be truthful to yourself and follow what suits your personality.
Exactly. So it's just you know, because I wouldn't lie to you, because I've seen a lot of people that they went to school, they just wasted those years, and they now say, oh, okay, they they feel like if they had actually taken maybe 1 year course or 1, 2, 3 month boot camp, like you guys, it could have, because so many people also went to UNAD, where the school I finished, and they went to learn all this computer science, and they were teaching them the Fortran, the 1980s,
COBOL, and everything.
and another kid just went to a coding school, and they are still ahead of people that went. So this thing is not really. There's no one route to it.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I hope I can answer your question.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you also, man. Let's now progress into into some of the awesome part of the journey. Of course, like I always tell people that trust the process. Every part of the process, there's always something to learn. Yeah. There's always wonderful parts.
Yeah.
Now you got to the point. Now you are scaling the business. Who was the first, let's say, quote unquote, big artist that you actually produced, a beat for? But then even before that, let's say you've been producing beats for like 5 years. I mean, like up until like after starting from getting into uni, and now it's almost 2005 to this very point. It's almost 20 years. Trust me, in the game. So you are a legend in the game. You not just start. You understand?
Yeah.
So talk us through like the process, your process, and the mental frame of actually making a beat. Because
the artist
really like the mental frame of making a beat. Like how does it come to you? Some people do magical things and they actually cannot explain it. They're just like, what? Once I'm in the studio, I just touch this on, and then boom.
It just comes together. So what's your process?
All right.
Yeah.
So I think I put something out there that a video I put out on my Instagram when was it? I forgot the name of this artist. Love One TT guy, the singer. What's his name? CK.
Exactly.
He was talking about when he created this biggest song, Love One TT. He was just playing some chords on the keyboard, and that inspiration just came, and immediately he went into the studio, started putting it together. He did it in that rough sketch, like they said the strongest ink. I mean, the weakest ink is stronger than the strongest mind. The weakest ink is stronger than the strongest mind. If the ink is weak, as long as you can document, you can capture your idea.
Yeah,
it will still be there. But your mind is strong, but you thought, I have it in my head. But after 5 minutes,
you can forget.
You can forget.
And then you might never remember it ever again.
So that's deep.
Yeah, so that's exactly my approach to whenever I'm inspired, no matter how small or how huge the inspiration might be. I just started putting it together just like that. I don't wait till it's perfect, till it's all looking all ready and all of that. And that's my approach. And all the artists that I've ever worked with, because they asked me that, who are the artists I started with? So I've moved from Danny Young. The next artist I think I worked with was Face.
Yeah.
The
Nice.
one of the Audition Boys. Yeah. Some of his songs like I'm in the Mood, In Came, some of his biggest hits came after the first era for him. The first era for him. In the second era, I made it. And that was the song that so many artists heard, like P-Sqaure, that I was invited into Squareview to come work with them.
Awesome.
And all of that. And while we were there, it was the same approach that we used when we were trying to do Chop My Money. When the little idea we had, we just started with it.
Yeah.
That way.
I watched the video of yourself in the studio with Mehdi.
And P-Sqaure too, right?
Yeah. So of course I saw that of P-Sqaure, but then I saw that of Mehdi when you guys were doing Ile-ijo. And then in one of the frames you got up, and then because you were tweaking the sound, you got up. And then you were actually on a vibe. At that point, I believe you knew that, what, this song is a hit.
Yeah.
At that point. And then there's these things that producers have as well. There's a way you can know. There's a way producers know from the beat itself, that this song is a hit. Now, this question is in two parts. As a producer, it takes a lot to find the right artist.
Yeah.
Because you can produce the best beats.
Yeah.
If you don't have the artist to actually deliver that song, there's a problem. Or rather, it might not blow or go the way that it's supposed to go. So for yourself, when you actually make a beat, how do you think and say, you know what, nah, man, Phase might not be good on this song. P-Sqaure might be perfect on this song. How do you necessarily select the artist
This is
that's
very
going
funny.
to kill?
This is very funny. Sometimes you might actually think it's one artist that will kill one particular beat. And what if I told you that one of the biggest wedding songs in Nigeria, it's the one by Orishafemi Igbeyawo. Enimba Mashe Igbeyawo. I don't know, maybe you've heard that
I
song.
haven't heard that song.
Yeah, it's that beat was for some other artist, but they didn't like it, and it was the person that I think, okay, let me just send this beat to this guy.
Yeah.
And that song become it's one of the biggest wedding songs. I'm sure when you now go back and play the song, you would know that this.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes you can't really tell, but however, there are some serial beat killers that you know that anytime they jump
Out
on
there,
the beat,
they would do
and
a
most
job.
time too, maybe you have chemistry with these guys. You already know that this is the type of beat that this so artist will like, and it's like that. And however, there are some beats too that they are big, they are beautiful. That even though not common artists can jump on it, something can still happen because it's beautiful, especially when you're a producer that you understand the process of composing or of composition, of how to manipulate that, put it together to make it something ready for people to listen to. So it can be like that too sometimes. But basically, I give myself freedom to innovate, to do something different, and also to give people chance
The freedom.
to just
Express
vibe and let's
themselves,
see
yeah.
how it's going. Maybe it might work for them, it might not work for them, because sometimes music is spiritual. It might be because I'm sure you've heard some song like some guys they sound whack and people are vibing to the song right now. Like I don't want to mention names, but some artists that are you see this song just there everywhere.
But there's nothing
yeah.
to it.
Even not in Yankees, we see they are not that talented,
Yeah,
but
but
the
there's
song will just go viral.
Yeah.
So that's
Nah,
absolutely.
that's-
a lot of people. A lot of
that's
people say that about my favorite musician. You don't know my favorite musician.
Oh no, I know. Favorite
Musician.
is Zazu.
Yes,
Portable. So he likes Portable. He loves Portable.
I love Portable. I think people, his sound is a very street, Lagos local sound. But when you listen to his lyrics, if you actually listen to the things he says in his music, there is meaning behind it. Like, and I paid attention, and also another reason is so I didn't grow up I'm Yoruba, but I grew up in Edo State. That's not an excuse. I speak Yoruba very sparsely.
And
Right?
he speaks very well.
Apparently,
Of course, I grew up in
he
Ibadan.
grew up in Ibadan.
Omo Ibadan.
But I mean, we can relate to Yoruba.
Yeah.
But so listening to him is one of the ways that improves.
Oh,
I understand. When I hear something I've not heard before, I'm curious about it, and then I dig deep. There's meaning behind it. So, and a lot of people look down on him, but I keep saying it.
No, I actually believe he's a fantastic singer.
You think so, right?
Very intelligent guy. He's just trying to act like he doesn't know what he's doing. Guess what? If you are like everybody in the crowd, they don't notice you.
Exactly.
But if you are the red, purple cow, there's a book I read, the purple cow. Everybody want to buy purple cow because they've never seen a purple cow
it's
before.
rare.
So Zazu is like a purple cow. You would rather choose that color than the white one that is everywhere.
100%.
He was going, by God willing, God's grace, he will perform at my wedding.
Sounds good.
Amen. 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 So, bro, one of the questions I asked before. So, when you make a beat, how do you have? Of course, like now you're already seasoned. You're already a legend. It's no longer it's starting. There's no upcoming in this one again. This one you've proved it. You understand? You've actually dropped templates and frameworks for people. When you hear a song, do you now have that tendency to actually this one is going to?
Yes.
Or is there are there some beats you be like, this one is not leaving the laptop, like we're just saving it in one file?
Yeah, so that's very valid. Like right now, ears, you can train your ears. People don't know that. There's a website called Ear Gym to build your ear mode. After a while that you've been in an industry for so many years and all that, you've developed your ability to hear good sound, good music has evolved. That you just know.
Yeah.
People might not really be able to picture it, but you just know. So me, when I create song, I know when it sounds good. And even though when a lot of people might reject that particular track or that beat, I'm convinced, I know. And I've gotten to a point now that my intuition, my way of thinking is now, I've proven it. Even not to talk about music, in things of life, when I know that it's exactly the thought I had towards a guy that happened. So I now know, okay, I'm not on that level now in my life that I'm 99. Oh no, don't let me say 99, 90% sure of
About
things.
that. Yeah.
If anything, I think you should act on this. And I tried it. It's always like that. So I think for musicians and producers, it's like that. So when I make beat or when I make song and an artist record on a song, on a beat, like I have a project that I'm working on now.
Yeah.
And immediately I just hear what they do. I say, this is mad. And every other person that probably listen, the same thing they're all gonna say.
Yeah.
They say this is mad. So it takes years for you to get to that level.
Awesome. And then it also takes training. Of the ear
Training,
as well.
And it takes your talent, your natural talent for love for music to
What,
get to that
what,
level.
what would you say are the fundamental things as a producer? What would you say are the
I
fundamentals?
mean, natural instinct or what?
Like the basic things you will need to have.
So it's
for
divided
tunes.
into two.
Okay.
Your knowledge for music programming and music theory, you know how to play the keys, but that's number one. But I don't think it's very important, but the other half is music programming.
Okay.
Which is what you guys are doing with your road go, and all of that. You know how to just do this. Programming is not very important because majority of the production technology, all of those tools is now softwares.
Yeah.
Software that a kid can be on like I'm sure you heard about the 13-year-old. Is it from Canada or that produced for Jay-Z? It's just a 13-year-old girl.
Wow.
She mastered that tool, that laptop, that software. Those are the two major things you need to understand. Understand basic music theory. Just understand all of. But the music program, I think the music program is now more important. It's more important. Like how to mix the vocal, how to touch up, how to tweak, and all. That's the music programming. Very important.
Awesome.
Just another one is over the years, like in producing, what has changed, especially in like music, in terms of producing music?
I'm sure the tools have changed as well. Yeah.
So every year the tools keep changing. A lot of people usually ask me that why is it that my sound is so fresh? That's why the fact that I've been around for a long that after a while they feel like some producer they don't really like their sounding, but every time it's always fresh. It's just because I keep my mind fresh. I learn. I'm a student. I'm always a student. Like people that I've taught, I still go back to learn from them. True. That's why the fact that because I used to have while I was in Nigeria, I used to have a music school in collaboration with another person, and we trained a lot of producers. And some of these producers, I occasionally just call them, "How are you doing? How are you?" Because so tell me more. They will now those kids, they know, they share with you. Awesome. I share with them. I'm always on YouTube.
Awesome.
I'm always on YouTube.
Yeah.
I watch because that's the only way to stay fresh.
Yeah.
And also engage with people. The producer community.
Yeah.
Just is a how will I put it now? It's an intentional thing. To grow, is an intentional thing.
Yeah.
You must be intentional about it. Don't have that natural growth. Natural growth is that you just growing. But you also have to be intentional with your growth.
Yeah.
Growth can be natural. A tree can grow.
Absolutely.
Anything, but human, you can grow like that too. But to grow well, you need to be intentional about it.
Absolutely.
So that's what I do.
Awesome. No, I appreciate that. Now, what's usually the mood when you are in the studio with an artist? So now you've made a beat. You've selected, or rather, you found an artist that you believe, this guy is going to kill this beat. This guy is actually going to deliver on this beat and deliver good sound to people. What's usually that, they usually say, okay, fine, these are rumors that that usually appear to us from we that are outside. There's that there's so much drinking, there's so much
Smoking.
you know, like from outside.
Yeah.
But what's usually like the mood between yourself and the artist in the studio to be able to
All right. So
deliver?
Yeah, because you don't drink.
yeah, I don't drink, I don't smoke. So I just want you to be talented. I just want you to be on the same frequency with me. Right? Like we're just vibing. Of course, I give you your creative freedom.
Yeah.
Express yourself in a way you can. But also, I want an artist too that wants a producer to express himself too. Because so many artists, they try to want certain things certain way.
Yeah, too
and
narrow-minded,
and it
yeah.
kills the vibe for producer.
yeah.
You can go back and check out this video by Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones. You know that song? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
The string. Quincy Jones played it. Then Michael Jackson said, "Take it off. I don't like it." Quincy Jones said, "No, you can't tell me what to do. I want it." And that up to today, you know, when you hear that song, what's the
Yeah.
Don't stop till you get in there.
That's the biggest part of the song. See why we all need to give ourselves that creative freedom. You know, allow everybody to express that. Like if you are too rigid as an artist, you're too strong-willed, and I know that it's really not impacting my
Your
vibe.
yeah.
I'm not comfortable working with you. You know, we should be able to complement each other's strength and weaknesses. You know.
Absolutely.
Nah, that was actually deep, man. Especially making the analogy with, you know, Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson. Because for the most part, we always try to impose our style,
Yeah.
you know, on other
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
You know, instead of us, okay, you know what, I wouldn't call it compromise, but it's just let us accommodate each other and actually produce, you know, the best thing out there.
Yeah.
You're also a songwriter.
Yeah.
You're actually right. So it's not just that you are behind, you know, the keyboard and then you're producing the beat as well. Now, was this always there, or did it get to a point where you were like, you know what, let me just start writing these lyrics?
Yeah, I started up as a singer, not as
Oh.
a producer. I've always been in
Awesome.
the choir in church.
Oh.
So I've always had a...
Why is it that most
Everybody-
musicians or people that come into music or
I'm just
Afro
going to
music,
check the time.
they
Yeah, so it's 6:17.
Okay, I need to send a message by 6. You guys can cut
6:30?
it out. You guys can cut it out.
Okay,
No,
today.
it's
no
fine.
problem.
It's
Absolutely.
fine. Yeah.
I need to just send a text message.
Okay.
you know, because I might not be able to make it to the...
where you be.
But let's continue.
problem.
Yeah. Let's So we're talking about why is that? Of course, most people in music, they always have that background in the choir.
In the choir, yeah.
Yeah. Even Devil was in the choir.
To be honest, right? He was the chief. He was the
Yeah. So what happened is that really any house, any organization, any platform that will train, that will impact and help people grow.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's not just church alone. I can tell you, if there is a particular house, we call it House of Hearts house.
Yeah.
And you say you put pianos there, you are just bringing people, you are training them. It's like church too.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly what happened. It's just why people just relate it to church. Is because then church is the consistent, is the, how will I put it? It's like
It's the only thing you go to every day,
only place that
rehearsal,
you know. I hope you
frequency
can
of
connect the
music.
dots.
Yeah,
now.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So really they've actually the music industry has changed, and then he was asking me things that have changed. Aside from, you know, the tools, I believe that so many other things have changed. There used to be a time where there was all these conversations and controversy between producers and the artist. You know, largely for the most part, I'll be honest with you, when I'm listening to a song, I swear, what moves me is really the beats. The beats. If the melody is not there, see, there is this song, it's Peppers by Farouk. So he's a South American artist. What is moving me in the song is actually the melody. You understand? And then he's actually speaking Latin. Like, I don't understand Latin at all. So many songs that are out there that it is the melody that moves people. It's not even what the artist is saying. But for the most part, it seems as if the producers are usually overlooked.
Yeah, not again. So
I agree. Not
it's a
again.
very
Yeah,
Can be subjective.
we're coming from there, though.
Yeah, no, I agree with
It is
you.
very, very recent that the producers started,
I agree
getting
with you. And if you go
recognition.
like, if you like, he was asking me that I like to also teach and all that. So if you go back to 10 years ago,
Yeah.
there was nothing like they don't give chance to producer. They don't not they give chance to producer, but producer were not really getting what they deserved.
Yeah.
And I was in Maryland, in America. Then I was talking to a lady DJ. Is a friend of mine, DJ Supermodel, and she was talking about royalties, publishing, and all of that. And meanwhile, that thing was not really. It was there, but they made it look like it's not the structure is not there in Lagos and all that. And I came back home, and again, that is why it's good for people to, travel.
Yeah.
you know,
Educate
go
themselves.
Educate yourself.
Yeah.
But sometimes traveling can be an investment, not some sort of
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
because you are exposed to, you open your mind
Yeah.
to many things
Yeah.
and see different practices that you can. So when I came back home, I said, okay, how can we be getting our royalties?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I have so many songs like
Out there.
that are like some of the biggest songs in the world. Then it wasn't really like that in Lagos. I had to, use a South African company to be getting my publishing and all of that. So it's a, how would I put it? It wasn't like that in America. It was just because the structure, when there is a structure, people don't, like I tell people, when people come out here, they travel out of Africa, they behave themselves because there is a rule that
Of course.
you would dance to the melody.
Of course.
So because of the fact that there's no punishment for cheating
consequence.
creators, no
Yeah.
consequence. So that's why most of the artists were artists actually knew that they were supposed to give some sort of right to producers. So they then, and you look at it too, artists used to be the rich people. Producer is just one young guy that would just come up with a beat, so they rate them like that. So, and that's why some of my messages I'm going to be talking about, especially looking into the issue of Mobad and so many things that started to come up after that.
Yeah.
How so many labels, so many investors, they take advantage of people
artists.
because when these artists, producers, they are coming
Yeah.
on board.
Yeah.
They don't really have leverage. They don't have value. They are bringing in because they are
They're
poor.
coming from a,
They
yeah.
don't really. They're
Yeah.
just hungry about bring anything. I go sign.
True.
But now things are beginning to look different because we have producers that are already doing well. They're already on YouTube selling beats, so they already have that negotiating power.
Wow. Yeah.
So when they meet artists don't really take, and they already, most of all these producers now, they already have publishers. They already know on YouTube those information that are out there. They already know they need to go and register with BMI, with ASCAP. So when they are talking, okay, we are producing, okay, why are we doing the split 50%? Those things changed with time. Well, however, it's not like I used to say something in economics class. We learned that there is a difference between growth and development.
Yeah.
Right now, people are saying Nigerian music is great, but there's still room for development. There's still room
100%.
for structural development and all of that. So,
Yeah.
100%.
Nice.
100%.
That's why we need people like you.
Honestly, man. Honestly, to actually give
Create the
this
structure.
knowledge,
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do that. And shout out to what you guys are also doing too.
Nah, we appreciate
You know, because people will listen to your program and they'll learn.
Yeah.
and
We
all that.
appreciate you. We appreciate you. Looking at the Nigerian music industry, and where you started from, and where it is right now, with our music being global. Now they say Afro-beat is
Is the new
outside.
hip hop.
Yeah.
It's the new hip hop. Is outside. I mean, if you look back to some of the hits that you created back then, did you really envision and believe that one day Afrobeat is going to, bro? Literally, I'm at the gym. I'm hearing Afrobeat play on the, like right here. I'm hearing Afrobeat play on the speakers. I'm on the road, and then
Afrobeat is everywhere.
yeah,
Can't escape it.
And then somebody's driving, and then like they're blaring Afrobeat, outside.
so-
Like, did
So I
you-
knew it would happen when YouTube came. I knew something when I started getting messages from East Africa, from Russia, from many part of European country, because I did the song I did for Akon and P-Sqaure. I infused electronics dance music. They call it EDM.
EDM,
That's
yeah.
why you hear that dun inside on African drum.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
it was a genius thing.
Yeah.
The people in
How-
Europe,
how-
they can connect with that sound.
Wow.
And when I knew something was up, then when Spotify came through, when Instagram, all of those things came through.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I can tell you that those were the things that were making that were making us not to really, we were not in the mainstream
Yeah.
because of those things. But once the internet connected us through those platforms as a one village, one global village, you can. That's why a kid in California can be connecting with Wizkid or
Absolutely.
Wiz. I knew something would happen to our music
Yeah.
because there's no more barrier. There are no more limitations because now there's one. Internet is a connecting dot, and now our artists are traveling. As a matter of fact, a lot of our artists are not even. There are no more Nigerian artists. Don't be deceived. They are signed to major labels in America. They are signed to. It's so Universal Music.
Yeah,
They just
Empire.
they
Yes,
just bobo una.
Yeah,
They are no
I'm saying
more.
they are using,
They are no
they are
more
infiltrating the
Nigerian
market.
artists.
Yeah.
They are now like global artists. So
Absolutely.
So all thanks to God for that.
Absolutely. I'm curious because I feel like we've not put it into perspective how big that song is.
Those songs,
In terms-
a lot of songs.
That Chop My Money.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the first, I'm willing to say that was the first major collaboration
No,
between
I
an
think,
international artist and a Nigerian artist of that scale.
yeah, he changed the game.
I'm
changed the game,
I'm willing,
man.
I think so, right?
And please, what was that feeling like? Like as in, I'm talking about the entire process
Exactly.
itself.
So who reached out? How did the opportunity come?
All right, so it was I've been trying to work with them P-Sqaure while I was serving in Nasarawa as a copper.
Wow.
Then the opportunity didn't just come. So then I think I had just returned from the United Kingdom. Then they told me, they were rounding up their album, the Invasion album, and I said, okay, sure. Can we just try one more sound? And that song happened to be what sold the entire album. Sometimes you never can tell. Like that's what I was saying. You
Yeah.
never can tell when the inspiration comes. Capture.
Yeah.
The weakest ink is stronger than the strongest mind any day, anytime. So and we captured it, and it was a vibe, and we met severally after that, and they went to America, and something happened, and they said, Flip, we need to connect and we need to do the remix. And we rearranged the beat and Akon jumped on it, and that was it.
That was it.
I think we can actually have the conversation.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, I think we can.
So
have the
like
conversation.
I like what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful idea. You're trying to get people to talk on, and when you guys reached out, I this is good. Let's support our own.
Absolutely.
Let's help one another scale up, and let's support one another. And,
Yep.
and that's exactly what I think Nigerians, African in diaspora, also need to do. Because we can learn from the Chinese, from the Indians.
Absolutely.
Like they have a way of helping one another, bonding and helping each other grow.
Yeah, I mean, I can share different experiences, especially with regards to the Indians. In fact, the Chinese have gone far. Like the Chinese, they're not even on our level at all. Like the Indians, bro, the way they are connected, the way they work together.
They have a process.
There's no way you're going to be an Indian and like you're going to be left behind or you're going, nah.
The moment the moment you land in Canada, if you're coming from India, they already have there's already like a connection. Like they know.
I don't think it's not just in Canada.
Anywhere.
It's everywhere.
Anywhere.
Like they actually have systems.
When you
they have
graduate
structures
from
that work.
school, there's already like a funnel, that of people willing
No,
to
I
help.
actually think like I don't know the problem with the Africa. I think is it competition or is it? I want to be the
honestly-
first to do it. Or I want to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a
I
question.
actually do not know.
It's actually among that. It's actually amongst that. You see, listen, we have so many, Africans that are in top organizations that can actually help, one another and stuff like that. But then it's almost very, very difficult for you to even reach out to those people. To even get things like referral and say, I beg, help me, just refer me to this person. But the Indians, literally, I believe you've been to Walmart.
Yeah.
You would think Walmart is an Indian franchise, but Walmart is an American franchise. And from A to Z, in fact, it's very, very, bro, When last did you see a white person in Walmart in this Bridgeport?
Walking.
Yes, walking. And then again, I'm not just saying it's okay, like maybe because of cheap labor or anything. But I'm telling you, these people, once they come in, boom, boom. Once one comes in, it's just like, I don't sound stereotypical, but back then, they say if you have like an Hausa gate man or something, before you know what's happening, the entire street, the entire street.
They'll bring
Literally,
themselves.
Yeah, that's how these guys are.
Yeah.
Once one comes into the organization,
Yeah.
boom, like they hire each other, and then we don't have that energy within ourselves because we're trying to compete, we're trying to say, oh, I did it first. I'm the first Nigerian to do this.
No.
Everybody wants to wear that crown. You're the first Nigerian. But then others that
What
behind
does it-
you are
does it-
suffering.
yeah,
it
it
doesn't
doesn't-
have anything.
Yeah.
No value.
And I think it's if you one thing that I know is that if you help other people grow, if you show them the way, my own philosophy is that they also, apart from the fact that they can actually do what you're doing, they're going to do it differently. That you can now some kind of thing
There's some learning.
that you can now say, oh, you did it differently and another result came out. People don't use that approach. Like I will use that. I was talking to someone recently. I said, I teach people things,
Yeah.
or I share some secrets, some tips, some sort of thing that I bump into. I share with people. I'm a kind of guy that I talk a lot. I share like if you go to my, I share.
Yeah.
My own style is that when I teach, when you now learn it, I notice that when they do it, people that I teach, they do it differently.
Yeah.
That I can now see some pattern that I can learn
Yeah.
from.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nah, I believe that's the way. I believe that's the way. You want to go back to the chop and money conversation?
Yes, absolutely. So that was in that point in time, I'm willing to say that was the biggest collaboration.
Yeah.
Bringing these two worlds together, right? I would say hip hop is Akon is R&B, he's an R&B artist primarily, which is hip hop, and Afro-beat. You said you already spoke a little bit about how the opportunity came, how you were serving, and then you've been trying to work with P-Sqaure, and they were just rounding up their
Project,
their
album,
project,
Invasion album.
and this did they already have contact with Akon and all of that? Did they?
No, what happened is the original one came out
Already.
maybe like 1 month, and it's like wildfire.
Exactly.
And they were also looking into scaling up their music career, like getting more exposed to the international music scene. And that opportunity just
happened.
happened then.
Awesome.
That was it. And you can see from there, it's when you set a standard, when somebody do something, or what am I saying now? When a milestone
It's reached.
is achieved,
Yeah.
you will see that thousands of people will replicate that.
Absolutely.
And that you now see that it's now like you see Wizkid and Chris Brown, you see, it's now like, it's no more, because you just need somebody to break
do
that
that.
ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think those guys did. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, they were actually like the first major ones.
Yeah, then
I
also I think the second person you would give it to is the Banja Endowed by
Yeah,
Snoop.
Snoop.
And once that
1000%.
it becomes a standard and everybody wants to.
Follow that.
So it's always good to have people break that ceiling, break that, achieve one milestone.
Yeah.
They need to give room for. I used to tell people then when people are saying Wizkid, I say a lot of people beat. I'm not saying like in terms of competition, but look at what Calm Down is doing.
The numbers.
to-
Nah.
And I
Nah,
can
Calm-
tell you can keep this for record. You can keep this for record. Another kid is going to come.
And beat
It's going to
smash that.
shatter that record.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
I've seen it happen over the course of my career in the music industry.
Nah, awesome.
So,
Awesome.
so just where do you think Afrobeats is going in terms of, I mean, we are global right now. Afrobeats is global right now. But where do you think it will go? Do you think Afrobeats is actually going to be bigger than hip hop?
Yeah, Afrobeat. I mean, I have two news for you regarding Afrobeat. One is bad. One is good.
Okay.
One might be
Let's have
bad. One might be bad. Things can still be done. And one is good. So which one do you want for?
Let's get the bad first.
the bad one.
So
Yes.
not literally bad.
No,
it might
yeah.
be. It might end up being a bad news for you guys later. So what happened is that the Afrobeat is growing now. It's becoming big now.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that some companies they're already getting Afrobeat because guess what? all the masters. I'm talking about the copyright of so many songs that from
buying them.
Afrobeat. Our so-called people in the West are already getting them.
Are you serious?
It's not really literally Afrobeat. It might not really be our own thing, because we are not having that institution. We are not having that structure that is really owning Afrobeats. I'm looking for the exact word to use now, like in terms of our artists are not getting signed to an Afrobeat label.
Yeah. That's
Our artists are
That
not
is
getting.
true. Empire is not an Afrobeat label.
Our artists are not getting
Universal
signed
is
to an
not-
Afrobeat, which is not really. It doesn't matter anyway. But
Yeah.
I feel like the ownership, the stake. I feel like I would be very glad if we can have more of our people
owning.
I mean, which is they are owning. Which also we might want to say too. They also still need the help of these international companies to help them grow. But I feel like I want to see us owning, our thing. I actually want to see because very soon Afrobeat will just go mainstream and you're gonna see someone from British Columbia will just get an Afrobeat song. An Afrobeat beat instrumental and he's gonna sing
sing on
his
it.
country music on it. And it might
And
be
you'll
the
be looking
biggest.
like what's going on?
And it might even be the biggest
Biggest,
song.
yeah.
And don't be surprised that those songs will be nominated for best Afrobeat of the year is from
Before
an
you
artist
know-
from
wow.
Tennessee, and because they can study it and do it better than you.
Yeah, that would be a shock.
So okay, look at reggae music now.
Yes.
Why you gotta be so rude?
Yeah,
Is that
it
not
re-
reggae
It's
beat?
reggae.
Yeah.
It's reggae. Yeah, it is. It
Damn.
is. Bruno,
That's one example of
Yeah.
so many songs that
Wow.
came through that. I hope you understand
I
where
get
I'm
where
going.
you're
Yeah,
at. Yeah,
I-
yeah,
I-
yeah.
Then the
understand
good thing
that.
is that Afrobeat is actually going to be big. It's going to be bigger than hip hop. It's bigger than because if you look at it, African, we are so blessed in a certain way that it's not today. It's been
Yeah.
we're just different.
Yes.
And people love what is different, and it's not so many people that can do our music the way we do it. I feel like Afrobeat is a force that is still going to grow more than this. I just want to see us taking more ownership in the Afrobeat thing. Like that's the thing.
So I'm curious. Did you see the clip? There was an interview Bonner on, I think it was Apple
Oh,
interviewed him.
okay.
And then he said, so we spoke about this in
Yeah.
previous episode
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Mm.
And then he said that, that a lot of the Afrobeats artists don't have any real experiences.
Substance.
And they just, that there's no substance in the music.
But okay.
And he goes on to say that, he's not an Afrobeat artist. That he's created a new genre called Afrofusion. I was very disappointed. I'm a huge Afrobeats fan. I would like to think so. I was very disappointed when I heard him say this, and I also thought he didn't really understand what he was doing and saying at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, two things that I see from this one part is that he said a lot of Afrobeat artists, and sometimes when you say a lot of 100 is 96, a lot of 100 is 86, a lot of 100 is
70.
maybe 97. So I feel like 3%, 4% or 5%, it can't really refer to people like Baba with African Queen,
Yeah.
Wizkid,
Thank you.
with so many of those songs that he did with Beyonce, Blasking Girl.
Yeah.
Look at what Wizkid said in that song.
Yeah.
So he was just expressing himself. At the end of the day, freedom of speech. But however, it's a global audience watching that program. I feel like somehow, so many people will be offended because you should talk about your own. You should elevate your own. You should say, "Oh, our Afrobeat industry is growing." I mean, those are I think it's just this. He was trying to express himself. I just feel like
Didn't do it right.
it's choice of words
Yeah.
and all of that. Because at the end of the day, I can't just go and say, "Oh, I'm here now." I'm saying, "Oh, our people, they are not doing
Yeah,
that."
yeah.
So it's offensive to so many people and all of that. But I actually, when you say a lot, I feel like, what's your number? What's your what are you looking at? What are you calling lot?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah. So you said that there was a good and bad. You only spoke about the bad actually.
You said the good. You said the good. Afrobeats is.
it's gonna grow.
Okay, yeah.
It's gonna grow. And a lot of people cash out. A lot of people make
sure,
money.
you're saying.
you see a lot of people will make money, and it's going to affect the movie. Afrobeat is already affecting the movie industry because Afrobeat song is already infiltrating the movie
in Hollywood, yeah,
it's going to affect fashion. Very soon, you're going to be seeing Afrobeat influence fashion lines. You're going to be seeing that. You're going to be seeing. It's going to even go back to helping Africa grow more.
Exactly.
Because there'll be some people that will come back to see. Okay, we want to go to the roots. So a lot of things will happen.
So for the most part, we're talking about Afrobeat growing, and we're also talking about most of these artists being signed to, record labels in America, Universal, Empire, Rockefeller, and Rockefeller, and rest like that.
Def Jam, man.
Def Jam,
I don't know if you know Odumodu.
Yeah, I think
just got
goes
signed.
through. He's also on Def Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So myself and Akin will have a lot of conversations, especially with regards to Afrobeat. And then I tell him sometimes that when I'm listening to some of these beats, they are actually changing. Like, it's no longer the Afrobeat. Like, yes, we are trying to accommodate a foreign audience, but then I believe in doing that, it is going to lose its originality. I mean, like the things that actually constitute, Afrobeat itself, like the drums and all, and then we are infusing so many things because we want someone in, Mongolia and someone in Russia to actually listen to us. But what are your thoughts with regards to that, please?
Yeah, it's true. It eventually is going to get a lot of, you're hearing fusion now.
Yeah.
You're hearing Afro trap. It's going to happen,
Yeah.
A lot of, it's going to move into so many other genres like Afro beat, Afro trap, electronic Afro vision, Afro. It's going to happen, but I feel like the element itself will still be there. Yeah, that's what I think.
Which is the drum.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's fine because so far the base is there, and
they're just
building on top of that base. I'm fine with it. So I listen to a lot of music. I'm fine with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, looking at the current music industry, who are your promising stars? Who are the stars that you see and then you're like, oh, I like what this guy's doing? I'm not talking about, of course, like the Whiskey generation right now. I'm talking about the Rema generation, the Oxley generation, the Joe Boy generation, and then those that are coming up. Who are the guys that you're seeing and you're like, you know what, they are doing it right?
Wow, it's very difficult to just mention names because there are a lot of them that are doing amazingly. They're doing amazing stuff and they are really very promising. So it's just very no names are not actually coming to my head right now. But I feel like so many of our artists are trying now. They're really raising the bars in terms of the song they are doing, their videos, and the audience is just growing every day. Like there's so many of them like that are good that I'm really rooting for, watching out for, looking for what's next for them and how they can get better. And I just hope that our record labels in Nigeria can also keep creating avenue and platform to help them grow without ripping them off. Because what happened to the likes of Mobad? Mobad never truly lived up to its full potential.
Absolutely.
Like promising, like you said, promising. Because I feel like it could have done so much more.
Absolutely.
If not because it was caught up in the record label issue, it was having depression.
Yeah.
It was because a lot of people didn't imagine this guy was going to Billboard, number of topping trending songs
Charts
in the world, because now the world got to now hear about him. What about things that he had inside of him
that he didn't bring out yet,
that he didn't live up to? So I feel like the record label, I hope they can keep enabling this guy by not really making them. And I also advise upcoming artists to make sure they have values, they have leverages that they can, when they are going to contract, I hope they get to sit down with a lawyer as well. So they have a good negotiation, they have a good contract, which will be a win-win, because I know investors want to go into business so that they can win.
Absolutely.
Artists also want to prosper too. But there is a conflict of interest when one party is feeling cheated and all of that. So
100%. with your time and then with the experience that you've shared in music, I believe that you can speak to almost every part, that takes to actually create, a good music, even with regards to even a good video. For the most part, we have, good Nigerian artists, wonderful, talented Nigerian artists that are abroad, in America, in Britain, in Canada. And then sometimes some of those artists, they believe that they have to move back to Nigeria for them to actually blow. It happened to a couple.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I've heard about this conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I think Tenny had to move back. Davido had to move back. What's the other lady's name that was signed to Maven?
Tiwa Savage.
Tiwa Savage.
Okay.
Yeah. They had to move back. What is your thought with regards to that? Can you actually blow anywhere when you're an Afrobeat artist? Or, you know what? The Afrobeat crowd has to know.
They have to
that
give
you're
you the
there.
stamp first.
Yeah, and then you have to go back.
So I think this is a very, very important conversation, and there's no one route to it all.
Yeah.
So what happened is that Nigeria, we have the population, if I believe that, we are over 200 million now.
Yes.
So, for example, let's take, for example, now, the size of Toronto or size of some others, the population might be small, so it's difficult for you to really get that number. Numbers still come from Nigeria. So how can they love you more? How can they embrace your craft more? Maybe if you move closer to the community itself, you go to they get to see you move with their artists, roll with their artists, do songs with their artists. You are building the local audience gradually. Then words start spreading. This guy, he come to Unilag, he come to this place. The guy bad or one thing. I think that's how the things
Starts going around.
because I know people like artists that they had that hit song from New York, and at the point they were huge and all of that, but that the scaling or the moving to the next stage might be difficult.
Yeah.
But, like for example now, I know that maybe Simi, I didn't go down Simi. I think maybe they're in America now, but
Yep.
but if you see them, they still come back to Nigeria.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Apart from one thing that is very important, apart from you coming to Nigeria, it's the language. You speak the language that they understand.
Absolutely.
Do you speak the language? You don't say because you are now out there. See, Alekule go to Garaya now. See the song viral because a lot of people connect with it.
Yeah.
I bought car for my papa, whatever. It's the dream of every African child to do, and they relate with that.
Yeah.
So the roots, you need to connect with your roots, whether by your language, the song you compose, or are you moving close to them, or are you having that local shows? But I think I don't know if you need to still always travel back home. I think the reason why people travel back home is you need to, when you are outside, you can't really produce the Afrobeat, because I've seen a lot of people complain that an artist, I think it's an artist in Canada here that said, I'm trying to do some Afrobeat song, but Afrobeat is not Afrobeaty.
Yeah. You need inspiration.
No inspiration. You can't. Let me tell you one thing. If you say you are doing suya, like you are doing
It's
suya,
different from back home.
So you need to
everything
go
is
and
different.
produce
Yeah.
with an Afrobeat producer.
Absolutely.
And most time, some of them, it's not every one of them that have the opportunity to travel abroad. So you still need to go back home to go and make your album.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of that factor.
Yep. I agree.
So I think it's a tricky one, but I've been able to touch on this element that I feel like is important, which is producing with an Afrobeat producer. Let them do it for you. They know the right mix. They know the right way it must be cooked.
Yeah.
Of course.
And also you need to speak the language they understand. Don't go and be singing yo yo yo. They will not really vibe to you.
Nobody wants to hear
And
that.
if you feel if you are led to move closer to your people,
Why not?
So I think everything, the game will keep changing. No
Absolutely.
one rule to it, because gone are days that like our artists now, most of them literally they are residing abroad. But 10 years ago, if they were living in abroad, nobody could really send them. But now there is
The
TikTok,
internet has changed since,
there is TikTok, there is Instagram. I can still be doing live with you. Like a lot of people will be listening to your podcast now from every part of you don't need to go to Lagos to go and record.
Yeah.
So I'm a very diplomatic person on this particular topic here.
No. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Speaking about producers, I believe from the time that you've come up until this period, there's so many producers that you've actually, seen, and I believe that you've actually worked with, collaborated with so many as well. Who are some of the producers out there, especially the Afro-beat producers that you think, ah man, I rate this guy's work. That you actually, because they're actually a lot, and they're actually very, very good ones. Like wonderful. Trust me, bro.
I've heard some insane sounds of recent.
Yeah.
So our producers are, shout out to all Nigerian producers, Afrobeat producers. They are doing so well. They're not just only doing well; they are making money now. They are really getting what they deserve, and they keep coming up with brilliant projects every time. You hear the sound every time. It's crazy. It's crazy. So there are a lot of them. Like, it's just that when talking about specifics, it's always very difficult for me. But I know. Shout out to all Nigerian producers. They are doing so well. Yeah. They are. Even right now, I'm collaborating with so many other creators. Like the new song I'm working on now I'm collaborating with P-Sqaure, which is also, people don't know he's a producer. They just think he's a guitar player, but he's also a producer, because I feel like we are now on that level now. Because I see when you listen to Chris Daniel album, you see three producers or four producers on the song.
Yeah.
I'm happy that we are now on that level now. It used to be a Yankee thing before.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. Also, imagine 3 producers cooking the soup on one song.
Yeah. You the best one person that I know that do this a lot. That one artist that does this a lot is, I think, Kiss Daniel. Maybe I think a lot of people. Go check out Kiss Daniel album. You see a lot of producers, and I think he's a very brilliant. No, we are now having writing camps whereby they put a lot of producers and songwriters in
together,
a room, which is brilliant approach to creating something extraordinary.
Yeah. I'm just curious, in terms of money. Well, how you? I mean, I'm curious to know how much. You might not have a figure, but like how much the producers actually, Afrobeat producers.
Producers now charge $2,000, $2,000, $3,000
per beat,
$1,500
For a beat or what?
for a beat for a song. Yeah, they are as high as that. I'm telling you now, the range is now, to just cut it short, the range is between 500 to 3,500. Even some producers might charge you 5K. So
sorry, we're going.
I saw you were reacting to a video of Mr. Easy and this guy. What's the name? Ubi.
Oh, okay.
Ubi. Yeah, and then you were talking about it's better for a. No, I don't think that was the video. I think it was a different video where you're talking about producers not accepting session fee. Instead, they should actually get the split sheet, because if you actually collect like a session fee.
Okay, I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
so what I was saying is that there's a difference between pay per hire. Pay per hire is that I invited a piano player. Yeah, come and play piano for me. I take your
share,
100,000 naira. I'll be going.
Yeah.
It's different from you say, okay, I want a stake. I want ownership of that. You're going to pay me for my time. We all know that there's, like if I spend hour, I want to be paid per hour.
Per hour. Yeah.
That's just using my time and using my studio and engineering fee and all of that. But I still need to be part of. It's the law, Like if this song is streaming, I want to be part of getting some proceed from it. That's where split sheet is like a contract between artist and producer that says artist is owning 20%, writer is 20%, producer. So it's very important to always have that split sheet. Don't just get your money, paper, and go. Insist that you want to be on the split, which is on the contract that will help you anywhere in the world to say, oh, Netflix, I'm actually a producer of this song, and I see that you use this song.
Yeah, I need
my own cut.
Yeah, straight up.
Pay me my money, don't
Don't play.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Like for real. So I noticed that that you're actually doing some things with regards to film.
Oh, okay. Like, I mean, I've done scoring for some movies.
What's scoring?
It's just when you say scoring is you're getting them the soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
Or sometimes the sound is designed for like soundtracks for a couple of music that I've done, like Funke Akindele's Jennifer Diary.
Awesome.
I did a soundtrack to that. Then One Night in Vegas.
Awesome.
One Night in Vegas used to be is a Hollywood, Nollywood kind of movie. I did a soundtrack.
I've heard about that. That's huge.
Is that AY's thing? One night.
One
in
night, no, one
Vegas.
night. No, that's another one. One night in Vegas has this. Is it Jim Louis, the guy in the movie? And
Awesome.
yeah. So that's that. I think there are a lot of ways you, as a composer, you can make money. It's not just you making beats.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can always score movies. You can get sound for movies and all of that. Yeah.
So these days, are you actively producing still?
Yeah. Yeah.
Still very much.
Yeah.
Still very much.
Yes.
Love it. Yeah.
So now you're out here in Canada. I know that you are doing so many other things.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, like, what's usually your day-to-day like?
All right. So my day to day, like, it's making music and business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And business. Write or songs, create songs. That's still my day to day this thing in Canada. Yeah.
So how about, like, has there been any move with regards to collaborating with, Afro-beat artists here in Canada? And trust me, I believe that the prospect out here is actually very, very huge.
Yeah.
And I think it's up to us to actually tap into it
Yeah.
now. Because there are several, I believe on the 14th, we have like a show. I'm not sure if she's doing, like she does Afro-beat. I'm talking about P-Sqaure.
Yeah.
So there's actually like a
okay.
show,
Okay.
yeah, they were actually going for on the 14th and
Yeah.
all. And then, like I've heard her sing, I've seen some of her videos, like she's actually very, very awesome. So with regards to yourself, are you planning on doing, things like
With some other
Afrobeat?
kind of
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know the artist you just spoke about, P-Sqaure.
Yeah.
I think she has reached out to me a couple of times. I think someone we spoke a couple of times. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to collaborating with Canadian-based Afrobeat singers. I'm already collaborating with some already, but I hope to collaborate with more.
Yeah.
But currently, I'm collaborating with more of the Punjabi guys.
Okay.
Because
Awesome.
I kind of connect with their rhythm. They have very good rhythm, and I feel like they have that crazy number. The numbers are huge.
You guys are 1.4.
There's a guy I met in school. He's on the NBA track list. His song is on the NBA track list.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and he's Punjabi.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I'm up, and there's a particular project that is coming out with an artist called Fast Deep. He's very talented, and he's in Brampton there in Toronto, and it's so I mean, but it's not just in America alone. I also want to locally collaborate with.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Most time, a lot of people, we are into what we are doing right now because of the survival. We need to pay the bills.
Exactly.
We need to, to make money. Because some creative stuff doesn't just readily just
Yeah.
Doesn't
come
pay,
along,
yeah.
Yeah, but I advise people, don't entirely ignore that creative side of you that is speaking inside of you. Like, my wife used to talk about a YouTube page, Teacher Rachel. They said she's earning millions, and what she does is she just, teach a kid and put it on YouTube.
Wow.
That idea, and she was not doing that before. She was also in corporate stuff, but the idea just came, and I feel like just give yourself that freedom to express. No matter like what you guys are doing now. So I feel like you're still in the
creative space.
in the creative space. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. So, like, what are some things you've been doing, like, of recent that you'd actually want people to actually imbibe? I mean, like, maybe going to the gym, reading a book, whatever.
Okay. Well, recently, what have I been doing? I'm tidying up the Love and Vibe album project that I'm working on. And then I just welcome my new child not too long ago. So I've been busy with fatherhood. To be sincere, so I've been busy with that. And I'm also planning on like some books that I've been putting together. I'm planning to finalize them. And also so many beautiful things that I've been putting together.
Wonderful.
And I'm also giving myself room to learn and to express myself.
So please, where can our audience, actually find you, with regards to Instagram, with regards to Spotify, YouTube, like where can they find you and follow you and see the awesome work, guys? If you actually go to his Instagram page, bro, like I'm dead serious. Like you're just going to be amazed. With the inspirational things you actually find there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just Fliptice, FLIPTYC, everywhere. Everywhere, Fliptice. It's the name, nobody goes about that.
How did your name come around, please?
It's from my name, Phillips.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, man, bro. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
so
it's
much.
a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure is ours.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We are all
And
done.
I hope you guys. I wish you all the